What's up, guys? Welcome back. I am RJ, and today, for the first time ever on my channel, 2 pairs of Reeboks in 1 week. Now, I don't know why, but for some reason, Reebok has caught my eye lately. And when I saw this shoe, I thought, it looks pretty dope for a Reebok, so let's snag it, see what it's all about. And today, we are talking about a shoe with a very long name, so I'm gonna have to read it off. It is the Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1, I believe. There's a size tag for you to take a look at right there. Obviously, my typical true to size 10.5. We will get to sizing later on. But other than that, it is just a run-of-the-mill black Reebok classic box. Slides open just like so, all fancy like. And I opted for the white and black colorway. There's little hits of color that we'll talk about, but there was 2 pairs that dropped initially. This pair and then a pair that was like, I guess, the more hyped pair of the 2 that featured a black outsole. I'm not really a fan of black outsoles for whatever reason, especially like on a predominantly black shoe. So just thought these looked better, and here they are. I think this colorway may have sold out on Reebok.com. I'm not 100% sure, but there are a slew of other colorways dropping, and I'll give you my full thoughts on the shoe, and here we go. Do my best to break it down. Now, the white layer that you see right here where the Reebok logo is, that wraps all the way around this side, little hits on the back panel, is like a felt feeling very thin leather piece. And it's, you know, right there around the toe cap. Right beneath that is the same exact material in black. And then as I already mentioned, that white wraps both lateral and medial sides of the shoe. And there's little hits back here. Basically, there's 3 layers of leather. And then as you can see right around the toe box, as well as little hits on the outer portion and the tongue, you have kind of a mesh overlay over the whole entire shoe, like a mesh screen, if you will. And it's pretty sheer, pretty see-through, and extremely thin. And then the black material that we talked about already also is what makes up the outer portions of the tongue, as you can see right there. And there is a little Reebok logo right on top of that mesh screening on the tongue portion of the shoe. Tongue also features a little pull strap, same exact strap back here. And that's more of a thicker leather piece, very similar to the black that we've already spoke on. So honestly, that was a mouthful, and there's still so much more to talk about. As far as the lacing system goes, it's basically all the layers that we spoke on and then reinforced on top of that just to prevent from tearing apart. You have white cotton laces, no alternate laces, unfortunately. I thought with the little hits of color that are throughout, you could have thrown in a ton of laces. You could have got, you know, there's oranges and greens and little hits of blues, and other laces really would have set this shoe off. So I think that's something that Reebok kind of slept on, and they definitely should have. Before we go any further, you see this little strap deal right here. It does loosen and tighten, and it does lock your foot in and secure your foot into the actual shoe. And if you're not about it, it is removable just like that. And then that's the shoe, obviously, without it. I'll finish the review without the strap on it. You can see, if you want to take a look at it, strap's right there. But essentially, just a little strap with a plastic buckle. I think it looks way better without it, but I'm sure, you know, just because it's unique, anybody who picks up the shoes will probably keep it on there. If I were to rock these regularly, I'd rock them just like this. I think it looks way better, like 10 times better without that strap on it. So anyway, now with the strap gone, let's go ahead and finish the entire breakdown. We've got more of that soft felt leather back here where that strap connected. Alternate side is where the strap connected right here, right below the top lace holes. Flipping back to this side just to take a look, as you can see, the very top portion of the leather layers that we spoke on does have like a gradient yellow to green, and then you can't really see, but below the mesh, it actually comes into like an orange color right there. which coincides with the transparent portion of the midsole right here. Now, obviously, I'll break down the midsole a little bit better, but you can see that where it is translucent, it does go from orange to green, and then beneath the back portion right here, you can see the yellows, you know, through the little slits in the midsole, and that coincides with the colors up here. So they did a really cool job of, you know, with that gradient, you know, throughout the shoe, and it's not too overbearing, you know, or overpowering. And then you got, you know, this little heel cup, heel counter back here in like almost a stone gray or an indigo blue is probably a better way to describe it. And then heading to the back panel, we already talked about that pull strap goes all the way down. And then you got just kind of a thick rubber accent piece right there on the back panel of the shoe, going down all the way to the heel. Now, as far as the midsole breakdown goes, it is Zig technology. Zig is like one of Reebok's old school techs, kind of coming back to life in new form, if you will. And when you look at it real quick, you're like, oh, that kind of looks a little bit like a free run, I guess, from Nike, you know, as far as the cuts go, you know, but it's very, very different, in fact. And they call these Zig energy bands, and they just, you know, basically run through kind of like in band formation, if you will. And then beneath that outer shell is the actual cushioning system, which is called Float Ride Fuel, which obviously more Reebok tech. And if you actually, you know, I know you guys can't feel, but in this kind of crevice down here, right in the middle of the shoe that runs along the whole thing, you can fit your fingers in there, and it is very cushy. Now, the actual shell of the midsole is extremely hard and actually adds a ton of weight to the shoe and is very heavy. That was the first thing that I realized when I picked the shoe up. They're very heavy and very clunky, and if they could have just reduced the weight, I would have enjoyed the shoe a lot more. But that is something that, you know, I for whatever reason, I just like, you know, lightweight shoes. I do a lot of runners, and, you know, these just felt a little heavy. Now, it might just be because of how hard it is. They might not actually be as heavy as I think. It might just, you know, kind of come off that way, but that was a complaint of mine. But the cushioning system, yeah, is pretty cushy, you know, that float ride. They're not uncomfortable. So, I mean, I'll get into that in just a moment, but, you know, that kind of breaks down the midsole and the tech throughout the cushioning system. And then the outsole of the shoe is just a thin Reebok rubber, as you can see right there. It does have a cool little look to it. And worth mentioning, you've got a Reebok logo right there. Obviously another Reebok logo right there that I hit on really quickly earlier. And then the other one that I hit on as well, right there on the tongue. And then one right there. For some reason, the camera never, ever, ever picks that one up. But if it does, that's the fourth and final Reebok logo on the shoe. So a decent amount of branding throughout, but nothing too overwhelming or overbearing. And as far as the insole goes, it is removable. Nothing fancy though, not very cushiony or anything at all. It does have the Reebok branding right there, as you can see, and nothing really else that stands out, but there is a ton going on in the shoe. I think it's cool that Reebok's, you know, trying to give us something different and something new, and, you know, I hope it continues. You know, I think the innovation that we've seen from them lately is pretty dope. You know, obviously I did touch on the fact that Adidas does own Reebok, for those of you who don't know, so hopefully Reebok just sees this. So hopefully Adidas just sees this as an opportunity to get this brand going again, reignite it, build a fan base around it, and get some stuff going. So hopefully this is just one of many things to come, because I know they put a lot of their focus into the CrossFit industry, and obviously they've got a lot going on with UFC and everything over there. But, you know, they need a little bit more for the sneaker culture, sneaker heads, I guess, you know, just for the lack of better words. But that is my full breakdown of this shoe. As far as pricing goes, it is a little steep, 180 bucks, you know, and I feel like that's kind of like the benchmark for new sneakers these days, for whatever reason. Why it's 180 bucks, I don't know. Maybe because the Ultra Boost is 180, maybe because, you know, all the React shoes that drop are 180, you know, maybe it's because they can, or they think they can. But like I said, this colorway and the sister colorway did sell out. So, you know, I guess 180 is where we're at with this one. You know, it's not I don't know, if you buy shoes, it is what it is. So that's price point, 180 USD. Outside of that, comfort wise, I'm gonna give this shoe just like an even 7, because it's nothing like you put on your foot and you're like blown away. But like I said, it's not uncomfortable. You know, it's a dope shoe and it looks good. And you know, if you're like me and you take the strap off, I think it looks a lot better. Laces are very long. That's something to hit on. So laces could have been a bit shorter just because not a whole lot to do with them. But you know, it's like I said, it's not awful. You know, I do respect Reebok, and I think 7 is a fair little rating out of 10 for the comfort. And then outside of that, sizing, I did go true to size, 10.5, and that's where I would leave it. It's perfect, you know, as far as sizing goes. And this is my second run-in with Reebok, and both shoes have been pretty solid, true to size. So that's one thing that I can definitely get behind, is sizing, because you know, other brands that we don't need to mention, Adidas, you know, just everywhere with their sizing. So let's go ahead and applaud Reebok for that one. And we'll leave it right there. That's my breakdown of the Zig Kinetica Concept Type 1 in the white colorway. If anything drops like collab wise on this shoe, I would definitely pick it up. So I would like to see, you know, some sort of collaboration come to fruition with this. But if not, I will put these on foot for now and give you guys a look at them, show you guys what they look like. And that's gonna do it for me, guys. I appreciate all you for checking out the video. As always, if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up on the video if you enjoyed it. I really appreciate that. It does help the video gain a little bit of traction. Other than that, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the bell notification, get an alert every time I post a new video. And guys, that's gonna do it for me. As always, I am RJ. I appreciate you guys. Until next time, peace out.
Thank you.